Hey guys, AXS Reverb here with a update to the 2022 S-Works Epic. So it's pretty shitty weather out. I'm actually in the garage today filming. Get a little look here. Some toys. First, full suspension mountain bike. Don't ride it, just keep it because I like the way it looks. It's a reminder of when I started mountain biking in 1995, 96. Got the good old single speed cruise around with the kids. But anyway, let's get back on topic. So we are here to review the Shox AXS Reverb. So when I first bought the S-Works, I had a 2019 Epic, and it did not have a dropper. I came off of a 2016 Specialized Stump Jumper with a dropper. And yeah, I love the dropper, but when I got the cross-country bike, I felt like I didn't need it. I mean, I didn't miss it, but it definitely has its value. And, I just felt like I can get along with it just having a regular rigid seat post. I enjoy the comfort of the carbon seat post because it does allow a little bit more flex. Where obviously, a dropper typically does not have the same type of movement, right, as a carbon seat post. But this being a full suspension frame, I figured, you know what? I feel like I was being held back a little bit on the downhills. And, with this bike, I felt like it would definitely be a great complement, right? Because this got a 67.5 head tube. It's got a 100 mil fork out front, 100 mil shock out back. And I just felt like, listen, this geometry set up to be pretty aggressive for a cross-country bike. And I felt like I was just kind of being held back a little bit. And I noticed that if I was going to be gapped by any of my friends or any of the rides that I've been doing, I felt like there was actually a little bit more on the downhill. This thing is an absolute machine going up. So I figured, you know what, let me just get one and yeah, listen, see how it goes. So now that I got a dropper back on this bike, there's no way I'm ever going to go back to not having a dropper, no matter what bike it is, including cross-country bikes. Yeah, all right, there's a weight penalty here, and this Shox Reverb AXS is a boat anchor of the droppers here, but it is wireless. It's very easy to install. It's really a nice luxury where you can just pop it in yourself. I don't know if you're transporting your bike, or if depending upon the bike box or case you have would require you remove your post. This is a great option because you don't have to worry about cabling and things like that. It's just, it slides right in. So, and it's really, really cool actually. I mean, you're definitely paying a premium for it. It was a little under $1,000. So definitely a novelty. Is it needed? Absolutely not. Could have got a regular, Shox, stealth version here with the cable. Or, in this case, Fox makes a really nice Transfer SL, which is the lightest and pretty affordable if you compare it to the AXS here that we're looking at. But I would definitely recommend this post for anybody that's considering it. Go out and try it. For me, the challenge that I had was a 30.9 millimeter seat post. So there was not a lot left on the market. And so I got lucky. But I absolutely love it. I mean, it really enables you to get real low on the bike. Those that have droppers already know this. But on a cross-country bike with 100 mil travel, it allows you to get a little bit more weight, basically a little bit more center and a little bit lower. So you're not putting all that pressure on your shoulders and on your neck and upper body, because that's kind of how you're positioned when you're going downhill. You really can't get behind the saddle unless it's really steep. But just on a regular downhill, you're able to really shift your weight around the bike. And shift your body weight around to really get, additional traction and lean that bike over just as a little bit more than you can without having the saddle kind of get in your way. The only gripe that I have about this post is that it's a zero setback. I know maybe some other posts are too, but with the way that this is designed, being a single clamp, not like a top loading clamp where you have a little bit more flexibility on where the saddle rails are positioned relative to the maximum on the clamp. So I'm basically at the max here, and I'm literally right at the hair of where I was on my bike fit. So I got lucky. But if you have a bike that has like a 20 millimeter or 15 millimeter setback, you might run into problems. I had a 10 degree setback. or 10 millimeter setback. I think that's probably going to be okay if you're riding that and you're not too far off from the max on the rails. But that was my only gripe, is that because of this style clamp, you know, I really had to be cautious on where the saddle was, especially if you're running carbon rail, on where the saddle is in position to those stops. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely flawless. It is a real pleasure. It's a real clean setup. I mean, literally, you know, it's just so smooth. It's infinite, right? So this post is infinite. So no matter where you're at, you hold down the button and you have, you know, an option to basically lock it in wherever you are here. This is a 125 millimeter post here. So I have 125 millimeter range here to play with here. So really, really nice. It's very quiet. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. They definitely nailed it with the speed and the return of going up and down. And I have nothing but great things to say about it, other than it's a little bit heavier compared to the competition. And it's probably more than double the cost. But that's the price that I wanted to pay personally, because this bike is just so clean with 2 cables. I couldn't justify throwing a cable on there, you know, to do that, especially when I went with the AXS drivetrain here. Again, cableless. So, which is really nice that, you know, God forbid, and I'm pretty on top of it, so it'll never happen to me, but if this battery would ever die, you can always grab the one from the post, swap it right in. It's pretty cool. So, but again, stay on top of it. You know, the AXS app will let you know what the battery life is. Again, it's going to last a while. So it's probably going to last quadruple the amount, if not longer, than the rear mech, which also lasts me basically a whole 3 or 4 months of racing before I needed to charge it. So very impressed. So listen, there's not much more to say about it. There's a bunch of other videos that people made, but I just wanted to touch on some of the things that I liked, didn't like, but I would still buy it again. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I urge you to please like and subscribe. Helps grow the channel, helps support the channel, and appreciate it. Thanks. Be well.